Chosen one. Have you noticed that quiet shift inside you? Not a loud upheaval or sudden explosion, but a deep stirring you can't fully explain. It shows up in moments when the room is loud but your heart grows still, when the old habit loses its flavor, when the same conversation no longer holds your attention. You try to put language to it, to tell someone close, but they shrug or smile and say you're overthinking things. Yet it returns, again and again, at dawn and in the silence before sleep, the sense that you are standing on a threshold. You are not who you were, and somehow you are already carrying the outline of who you will soon become. This is not wishful thinking. This is not fantasy. This is your confirmation there is a hand on your life, steady, patient, and wise, shaping what only heaven could have imagined for you long before you took your first breath. I want you to hear this with clarity and peace. You are being prepared, not punished, positioned, not postponed. The pressure you've felt is not a sign that you're failing, but a sign that you're forming. The restlessness isn't a random mood, it's a holy nudge. It's the language of your future speaking to your present, telling you that what once fit can no longer carry who you're becoming. Some will misunderstand it because they cannot hear what God whispers to your spirit. That's okay. What is being formed in you is not a public debate. It is a private agreement. You don't need a choir of approval for a promise that was written over you in quiet ink. You only need alignment. If you feel this, say yes in your own way. Breathe deeper, sit taller, and let your heart agree. And if this message meets you where you are, stay with me. We're not here to stir your emotions and leave you hanging. We're here to name what's happening and anchor it with wisdom so you can walk forward with steadiness and strength. You've noticed the shift in small, practical ways. What entertained you now feels empty. What distracted you now feels expensive. Some rooms feel smaller, even though nothing has changed but your soul. You used to force yourself to fit, to be agreeable, to explain and re-explain the quiet convictions you carry. But now you feel the liberty to simply walk in peace. This is not pride. This is growth. Your spirit is outgrowing the conversations that keep you shallow and the habits that keep you sleepy. It's what happens when you are being entrusted with more clarity, more compassion, more responsibility. Heaven always expands the inner life before it opens the outer doors. There are signs you're already walking differently. You pause more often before you speak. You sense atmospheres when you enter a space. You've tasted the power of choosing silence over arguments that go nowhere. You feel the subtle difference between urgency and importance, between pressure and purpose. You are learning the art of restraint, of not needing the last word, of declining the invitation to chaos, of choosing the long path of patience over the quick thrill of being right. It might feel like you've lost some spark. In truth, you've gained wisdom. Fire that once flared outward is becoming a steady flame within you, one that warms, guides, and endures. If you've been asking, what is happening to me? Here it is. You are being aligned with your true identity. The world taught you that becoming is about performance, status, and applause. But heaven's way is different. God does not hand you a costume. He reveals your core. He is peeling away what fear taught you to wear, loosening what rejection taught you to hide behind, and strengthening what love planted in you long ago. This is why comparison suddenly feels boring. Why trends no longer command your soul. Why flattery no longer seduces your purpose. You are no longer hunting for confirmation in places that cannot give it. You are receiving it from the only one who can. Becoming, in God's timing, is not a rebranding exercise. It is a refining fire. It is the patient work of transforming your appetites, purifying your motives, and maturing your perspective so your character can carry your calling. It didn't start with an announcement. It started in the quiet moments when you chose integrity over convenience, when you told the truth even if it cost you, when you forgave without getting an apology, when you honored people who could not repay you. These are not small things. They are the structure beneath the surface, the invisible beams of a life that will stand when winds rise. You might feel the tension of the in-between, that stretch where yesterday no longer fits and tomorrow isn't fully visible. It is uncomfortable, yes, but it is sacred. Seeds do their most important work in dark soil. Caterpillars surrender to the hush of the cocoon before the sky ever sees their wings. You are there now, not stalled, not forgotten, held and shaped. If the pace feels slow, trust the precision. What lasts is rarely rushed. Some of you sense this in dreams that carry weight, in prayers that feel larger than your personal needs, in moments of worship where your heart fills with a peace you can't explain. Some of you have felt a new kind of courage rising, not loud or showy, but durable, a settled kind of boldness that says, "I will be faithful today." Some of you have felt a love for truth that is stronger than your fear of opinions. These are confirmations. Not every sign is spectacular. Often the clearest sign is a simple shift. I once was driven by urgency. Now I'm guided by purpose. I once was fueled by approval. Now I'm anchored by conviction. I once needed to be seen. Now I need to be aligned. And yes, there are days when it stings, when people you hoped would celebrate your growth seem to question it or ignore it. Familiarity can blind those who think they know you. They see the past version because they met you there. Don't allow that to pull you backward. Those who cannot recognize your new season are not your enemies. They are simply not your guides. It's kindness to release them from that role. Honor them, love them, but keep walking. The same path that confuses some will eventually comfort many. In this shaping, notice how God protects you. Doors that felt like rejection were actually redirection. Invitations that would have lured you into distraction fell quiet, not because you were overlooked, but because you were being preserved. There were moments you thought you were late. In reality, God was right on time. There were dreams you thought you had to chase. In truth, those dreams needed a stronger you to carry them. Nothing good for you will require you to betray your peace to keep it. You are learning the difference between attention and assignment. Attention makes you visible. Assignment makes you valuable. Attention asks, "Who is watching me?" Assignment asks, "Who can I serve?" The chosen are not obsessed with the crowd. They are faithful with the call. That is why you will see expansion without excess, fruit without frenzy, influence without inflation of ego. Your roots are going down as your reach grows outward. This is heaven's order. Who are you becoming? A steady voice in noisy rooms, a bringer of clarity where confusion multiplies. You won't need to shout to be heard. The weight of truth has its own volume. People will find themselves repeating lines you shared months ago because wisdom sticks. You are becoming the kind of person whose presence steadies the anxious, whose honesty heals the cynical, whose generosity disarms the guarded. Your counsel will not come from cleverness, but from the quiet place you visit daily, where your heart is recalibrated and your priorities are made simple again. You are becoming a pillar, strong, flexible, and upright, not hard and brittle, but resilient and compassionate. The difficulties that once knocked you off balance are becoming testimonies under your feet. The tears that once felt wasted are becoming water for someone else's garden. The prayers you thought no one heard became the very boundary lines that protect your mind today. You are becoming a carrier of peace, the kind that doesn't deny storms but refuses to surrender to them. People won't always be able to name what you bring into a space, but they will feel lighter when you leave. This identity emerging in you is not limited to a single stage or title. It will express itself through whatever you place your hands on: work, family, friendships, community, creativity. Excellence will mark it, not for perfection's sake, but as an offering. You'll find yourself less fascinated by outcomes and more devoted to process. You'll do small tasks with big love. You'll make decisions that honor both your present commitments and your future calling. You'll watch how your time is spent because you understand that what you repeatedly allow is what you eventually become. As this unfolds, you may sense more solitude, not loneliness, but purposeful quiet. You will crave moments that refuel your spirit. You'll step away from the noise without making a spectacle of leaving. In those pauses, you will hear what you need for your next step, just enough light for today. You won't always see 5 years ahead, but you'll know what faithfulness looks like in the next hour, and that will be enough. The path reveals itself as you walk. There will also be practical shifts. Your yes will become more meaningful because you will say no more often. Your boundaries will soften your life, not harden your heart. You'll release the urgency to answer every call, to join every debate, to fix what isn't yours to carry. Wisdom will teach you that some battles are best won by refusing to fight them. Your energy will move from proving to producing, from explaining to embodying. People believe what they can observe over time. Allow time to be your ally. You'll notice how your discernment grows sharper and kinder at once. You'll recognize what is for you without despising what is not. You will sense the difference between a good thing and a God-timed thing. You will learn to wait with purpose, to prepare without panic, to hope without clinging. When something is for you, it won't require you to become someone you are not to keep it. When a door is yours, it will demand your courage, yes, but not your compromise. Public confirmation will come in due course. Not always dramatic, often simple. A message from someone you didn't expect, a door you didn't knock on, a memory of your words replaying in another person's mouth. You'll find that favor meets preparation, like two rivers converging. What felt impossible in one season becomes natural in the next. You won't be able to trace all the connections, but you will be able to recognize the author, and in that recognition, you will remain grounded, because you know none of this is owed, it is entrusted. If you need a way to anchor this season, begin with a daily conversation with God. Honest, simple, consistent, not performance, presence. Talk to Him about what confuses you, what excites you, what scares you, and what you're grateful for. Keep a record of what stirs you, a line from a reading, a phrase that won't leave you, a dream you can't shake. Patterns will appear. Encouragement will accumulate. Doubt will have less room to grow where truth is written down. Let this also be a season of stewardship. If a gift is in your hands, practice it. If a skill is in your path, sharpen it. If a relationship is entrusted to you, tend it with care. Excellence is not arrogance, it's gratitude. You do not need to be perfect to be faithful. You are allowed to improve in public. You are allowed to start small and let consistency become your silent megaphone. You are allowed to rest without apology. Rest is not quitting, it is trust. When resistance appears, and it will, don't be surprised. Growth can unsettle those who prefer you unchanged. Some will keep you in yesterday because it's easier for them to understand you there. Smile gently. Bless them privately. Keep moving. Your task is not to convince anyone that you are transforming, it is to actually transform. Often, the most loving thing you can do is to become the person you were created to be. Your freedom will give others permission to pursue theirs. If you find yourself asking, "How will I know I'm ready?" Here is a quiet marker. You will stop negotiating with your values. You will feel a strong tenderness toward the truth. You will treat small promises with seriousness. You will feel less addicted to quick validation and more devoted to hidden faithfulness. You will be interruptible for what matters and unbothered by what doesn't. You will be able to celebrate others sincerely. You will be able to lay something down without the fear that you are losing yourself. Readiness rarely feels like fireworks, it feels like peace. Now breathe this in. You are not being improved like a gadget with new features. You are being transformed like clay in a potter's hands, remade from the inside out. Old patterns are losing their power. New strength is taking root. Hope is not a distant concept. It is becoming your reflex. Grace is not a vague word. It is becoming your practice. The more you lean into this, the more your life will speak without forcing. People may not know what changed, but they will feel that you are safe, clear, dependable. The best kind of influence is the kind that feels like shelter. And what about provision? You have worried about it in quieter moments, whether your needs will be met as you choose the narrow path. Hear this: you are not being led into scarcity, you are being led into sufficiency. Not everything will arrive early, but what is needed will arrive on time. The wisdom to manage it will be part of the gift. The perspective to enjoy it without worshiping it will be part of your growth. Your hands will open and close as needed, open to receive, open to release. That is how rivers keep flowing. If you've carried long seasons of discouragement, let this be a turning. Not because circumstances always obey you, but because your heart can choose its posture. You can decide that what you face will become part of your formation, not your undoing. You can choose words that build the world you want to live in, words of patience, gratitude, and courage. You can curate the gate of your attention, who gets your time, what earns your focus, what you let into your first and last hour of the day. Little hinges swing big doors. You may still wonder if you're truly chosen. That question tends to echo in the soul when the old identity loosens and the new one isn't fully familiar. Let this truth settle you. Being chosen isn't about superiority, it's about responsibility. You are not set apart to stand above. You are set apart to kneel and lift. Your assignment will never require you to devalue anyone. The greatest confirmation of your calling will be the growing capacity to love with wisdom, to correct without contempt, to carry influence without needing to dominate. The more heaven's heart fills yours, the more human you become in the best way, gentle, strong, and honest. Soon, sooner than you think, you'll notice a different kind of momentum. It won't feel like sprinting. It will feel like sailing with a faithful wind. The work will still be real, the discipline will still matter, but the sense of straining will soften into stride. People you couldn't reach before will find you. Places you thought were beyond your reach will open. Not because you learned to shout, but because you learned to listen. Not because you mastered a trick, but because you mastered yourself. If you need language for this next chapter, try speaking this over your day. I am anchored in peace. I will honor my values. I will move at God's pace. I will choose excellence over perfectionism, presence over performance, and stewardship over spectacle. My identity is not on trial. My future is not fragile. I am guided, guarded, and growing. What is meant for me will not manipulate me. What is not meant for me will not distract me. I release the past with gratitude and step into the present with courage. As you continue, keep your heart soft. Softness is not weakness, it is strength that refuses to calcify. Keep your curiosity alive. Ask better questions, seek truer answers, learn from those who have walked wisely. Keep your hands open, serve where you can, share what you have. Forgive faster than your pride prefers. Keep your feet steady. Show up when it's unglamorous. Keep promises that no one is tracking. Return to the quiet place, even when you feel strong. These are the unseen habits that set the stage for seen fruit. If this message sits on your spirit like a calm, take it as your sign. Not a flashy signal, but a gentle confirmation that you are not lost. You are led. The gap between who you were and who you are becoming is not a void to fear. It is a bridge to walk. Walk it with prayer. Walk it with community. Walk it with rest. Walk it with integrity. On the other side is not a new person you must invent. It is the true person you are unveiling. Let me bless your path with simple words. May your mind be clear, your motives clean, and your courage kind. May your steps be unhurried and your spirit unshaken. May doors align with timing and timing align with wisdom. May you find mentors who refine you and friends who refresh you. May you carry peace like a lamp in your hands, lighting the next few steps for others as you move forward yourself. May every hidden season bear public fruit in due time. You are not standing at the edge of uncertainty. You are standing at the entrance of confirmation. You are not searching for an identity like a lost traveler. You are receiving one like a child who trusts the giver. You are not becoming by accident. You are becoming by a design older than your doubts and stronger than your fears. When the unveiling comes, and it will, you won't need to argue for it. The work will speak. The peace will show. The fruit will testify. So lift your head, breathe, take the next faithful step. Keep your heart aligned with the one who fashioned it, and when you do, you will watch the quiet stirring within you become the steady strength you live from. This is who you are becoming: clear, rooted, generous, wise, courageous, and whole. The world may not have the language for it yet. Heaven already does. Walk in it.